And you have in the leadership of that, you have Maria Corina Machado, which is unbelievable. It's Maria Corina Machado is one of the literally daughter of the Venezuelan oligarchy, and he is absolutely U.S. aligned in all these their positions. And she has said that she is responsible for that mobilization of military forces into Venezuela. You have had a right opposition here in Venezuela since the beginning of the revolution, and they have had different peaks of the capacities of mobilization. I mean, the public support. You have different moments in the political opposition, in the right opposition in Venezuela. So far, maybe since the blockade, they have started to grow a little because the the decrease in the national conditions, of course, has been capitalized for different opposition sectors. But instead of that, they hadn't been able to promote democratic change in Venezuela. What I'm telling about is that instead of the whole generated situation for the blockade, right opposition hasn't been able to have the majority to change the political situation. And that's something that has generated like some kind of breakthrough the national right opposition, like in two different ways. The first one is the more traditional right parties has been like aligning into a national policy where they have been like going into a ground of minimum consensus with the Bolivarian revolution because it's like, well, we have common interests. We need to guarantee better conditions for the country. So this consensus is about peace. It's about social well-being. It's about economic recuperation. It's about, of course, to finish the blockade framework because we all agree that it's not possible to recover the national conditions with the sanctions. So this is a sector of the opposition that has been more about to have common interests to recover the national situation. And the other sector of opposition is the most US aligned sector, which is more about sanctions. It's about military invasion. It's really sad. It's about an imperial fascist position. And I'm not being rhetorical about it. It's basically explicit. This sector of the right opposition, well, in the last years, they have moved from Venezuela. They said that they have been exiled. They went because they want to. And now they are, some of them has political positions, especially in Miami, in New York, and in Texas. Those are the most important arenas for right political assets in the US. Actually, you can see that in the White House, you have some Venezuelan political assets that are part of the Trump administration. And all this sector has been promoting sanctions from the beginning and has been promoted all these things that I mentioned you before about this escalate process in the last 10 years has been mainly promoted by this sector. And you have in the leadership of that, you have Maria Corina Machado, which is it's unbelievable. It's Maria Corina Machado is one of the literally daughter of the Venezuelan oligarchy. They are and they have the ownership of the most important industries in this country, and he is absolutely U.S. aligned in all these their positions. And she has said that she is responsible for that mobilization of military forces into Venezuela. She publicly promoted, she publicly says that she's part of it and she's promoting it, and she's actually trying to sell the possibility that could be something like a political campaign. She's trying to talk to some political basis that could see that like a good thing. As I mentioned before, the Venezuelan sector that could be agreeing with this possibility of military aggression is really, really low. So this expression talks about a political right sector that is fascist, that is imperialist, and they don't care. And they know that that's not popular and it has no big support, but they don't care. With what they need is the U.S. support, and of course they are trying to build a fascist political basis that support that could think that that's the possibility of future for Venezuela. Fortunately, they haven't achieved that so far. I think that one of the most important things for Venezuela is that we have been able to defeat that as an option the last year in the presidential elections. Because if we wouldn't be able to defeat that, we will have something even more terrible than what's going on right now in Argentina. What's going on at this moment in Argentina is terrible. We have like all demolishing the social conquers from the 20th century, from the different working sectors. You have been demolishing the social security, the workers' rights. You have been demolishing everything that you have could been able to achieve in the last century in the region, specifically in that country. So it's really, really sad. And in that particular situation, you have an important public support. There is people who vote for him. There are people that still could vote again for him. And that's maybe one of the important differences here in Venezuela. Because as I mentioned some minutes ago, we know that it has been a decrease in the public support of the Bolivarian Revolution because of the blockade, because of the sanctions, because it has diminished the well-living conditions for the people. And one of the consequences of that, or one of the incomes, is the decreasing in the public support. But still, we have the majority support, and that's an important issue because it's not only about revolutionary support or Bolivarian support. It's anti-fascist support. It's anti-imperialist support. It's nationalist support. It's people who is thinking in the future. What I'm trying to say in here is that one of the things that we are worried is the recomposition of all far right sectors in Latin America in the last years. You have an important far right political basis in Brazil with Bolsonaro and all those sectors. That's far right. Those are people that are against the rights of the people. Those are people that are aligned to the US interests. Those are people that are not about national interest. Those are people that are going about the poor people, that are against the possibility of the national development of the majority. So that's an important threat that we have in the region. And basically, the possibility of Venezuela to resist to this important aggression that we have so far is in this national conscience that, as I mentioned, it's in the civilian sectors, but also in the military sectors. And that's something that we need to be civilized and promote